Somebody asks, is swapping coins and pairing coins the same thing? No. So when every Uniswap V2 pair that exists is created by somebody. Anybody can do it. It's a public function. And you just choose a ratio and add coins at equal on both sides. So if you're like, I think the ratio of these coins should be 4-to-1. Then you add them at 4-to-1, and then the price is 4-to-1 because the price equals the ratio in Uniswap. So like if it takes 4 hex to get out 1 USDC, it means the price of hex is 25 cents because there's 4 times as many USDCs in the pair, or 4 times as many hex in the pair as there is USDC. It's a 4-to-1 ratio, so the price is 25 cents. So the ratio is the price. And then so someone is going to have to create bridged in ERC20 value versus PRC20. And so like Chainlink and SHIB were the 2 top ERC20s sacrificed, around maybe 3 or 4 million and 2 million. I'll go look real quick. I'll give you specific numbers on that. Don't have to guess those. So, there was 3 million in SHIB and 3 million in Chainlink, both. So those guys sacrificed their coins. People that have SHIB or Chainlink on the Ethereum chain are going to get a free copy on the Pulse chain. We call them PRC20s. They're the Pulse versions of the ERC20s. So when someone creates that liquidity pair of the bridged in eSHIB or eLink with the link and SHIB that are on the Pulse chain, they have to choose what ratio they add that pair at. Now they could, choose any ratio with like a small amount of liquidity, let the market trade against it, and then that moves the ratios, and then the next guy has to add at that ratio. So you can only add to a pair at whatever the ratio currently is. You have to add it at the same ratio. So like right now, let's take hex. Let's call it 25 cents. That means that right now there's 4 times as much hex as there is USDC. And so if you wanted to add liquidity to that pool, you would need to put in 4 units of hex for every 1 unit of USDC. That's the ratio. If you want to change that ratio, you could trade against the pair and then add after you traded. You could do that. So it's it is hard to know at what ratio to set these things. So for coins that are totally priced out and can't function on Ethereum but can function on Pulse, I think that they should have, ratios that are higher on the Pulse side. Like I think the Pulse version should be more valuable because the coin can function on that side, whereas it's broken on Ethereum. And then, it's hard to say what the ratios for all the other things should be, So like what should bridged in link be worth versus link on the Pulse chain? What should bridged in SHIB be worth from the Ethereum chain versus its free PRC20 copy that everyone got on the Pulse chain? So someone's going to have to create the pair and choose a ratio, and then everyone's going to trade against it, and it's going to be how everyone gets their rewards. And then the PulseX system that everyone's going to be using to do this, it has an extra reward token that it gives the liquidity providers for being LPs. So they make fees and they make this extra token. And then you also, I think another interesting bridge is the, USDC from Ethereum bridged to Pulse itself in the PulseX exchange. And, the bridged in USDC versus Hex on the Pulse chain. Those are also interesting pairs. And then you've got other interesting pairs, like what about Hex on the Ethereum chain, not bridged, but, well, is it bridged? I guess it is. So bridged in Hex from the Ethereum chain versus Hex on the Pulse chain. What's that ratio? Interesting things, interesting questions. Also, what's the PulseX to Pulse ratio? I don't know any of these things, right? The market's going to set all these things. So, it's really interesting. Somebody asked, how do you stake the T-Pulse from the faucet? You got to go to the link. Just go to the chat room, t.me/pulsechaincom, and you'll see the link to the staking page. It's a page. It's got its own URL. So if you want to stake your Pulse, you go to a specific URL to do it. Any idea what the incentive coin's called yet? Nope. But should figure that out. I actually like your jacket. Thanks. Pulse and PulseX will both be huge. Hex is going to be the golden crown top. Nice, man. NFL playoff football and a Richard Heart live stream. What could be better? Thanks, man. It's very kind of you. We're the early adopters of the Richard Heart ecosystem, folks. Yeah, we've almost got full vertical integration, which is funny because it's decentralized, but we just all like the same stuff. We're just missing fiat on-ramps and wallet, and MetaMask is friendly enough. They're not shoving margin trading down your throat or anything, so, you know, pretty good. Will copied stablecoins be worth $1 in the future? I don't know, man. I mean, I would imagine that the ones that are redeemable for real dollars have a little bit more value than the ones that aren't. So, but we'll see. Oh, I was so far behind in chat that it just deleted it all and skipped me ahead. So now I'm only 5 minutes behind because it deleted so much. Richard's jacket is $7,500 and out of stock. Okay. Crazy. How can I use my hex I purchased on Polygon for staking? You can't. You have to bridge it back out of Polygon and take it to Ethereum. Because you're just trading a placeholder over there. The hex on that network is bridged in. It's a placeholder for the real hex that's on the Ethereum network. Could you please explain the buy and burn process? Nope, because you can't have expectation of profit from the work of others. And we couldn't design it to be automatic. So now you can't have any expectations. But what you could do is just watch and see what the address does. Sorry, guys. U.S. securities law. No expectation of profit from the work of others. Solana versus ETH would like to know why ETH is better besides liquidity. And he says liquefy, by the way. Well, maybe because Solana is down every other week. Could be that. Like the network doesn't work half the time. That sounds like a problem, doesn't it? This is a really dumb question. Oh my goodness. Change your YouTube profile picture to the one that I have on Twitter. Yeah, I want to. I'm just scared. But I guess everyone likes the one I have on Twitter now, so I'll do it. I was always terrified of changing my profile picture because I've read